TMOD for the day. He's here with some interesting topics. I don't want to take much of a time. Over to you, Toastmaster Aparna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Francis. A very good Sunday morning to all of you. Earlier this week, Toastmaster Francis had reached out to me asking if I would be interested in taking up the TMOD role. I was like, I've never done this before. But then I thought to myself, this is my chance to do something different, out of my comfort zone for the first time. So I said yes. And then I kept wondering about the topic for the session. What should it be? And the answer was right in front of me. I was like, why not make this the topic itself? So the topic for the session was decided in my head. When was the last time you did something for the first time? And as I was texting Toastmaster Francis about the topic, in no particular order, I started listing off all my first times in my head. There was a first time for everything. The first day at college, my first day at a job, first time driving a car, first time I took a flight. The list goes on. But most of these things were firsts that happened so long ago that they no longer seem to be relevant to my current narrative, the story that I'm living now. Perhaps that was the whole point of the question. Getting people to think about the last time they took any kind of risk at all. So anybody wants to share what they did, or when was the last time they did something for the first time? Anybody wants to go? Toastmaster Apoorv. I think he's on mute. Yes, Toastmaster Shashi, please.
It's a very interesting thing, what I did. From the very beginning, I used to write poetry in the college competition festivals and all. Mm-hmm. And one fine day, I become an author. And my book was getting famous. And my publisher said that, okay, so here is what we are going to do. We are going to invite 300 people from Chennai, the top people, and put you in a hotel called Leela Palace. And you have to come and give your speech. And that was my first time. I must tell you, I had butterflies in my stomach, and there's 300 different kind of people listening eagerly to me, thinking that I'm going to throw pearls of wisdom from the podium there. And I just could not speak. And it gave me a kind of a shock. I had the presentation prepared, my family, my wife, everybody was there. And I was just making a fool out of myself. Then suddenly I saw that one person, my guru and mentor, Timri and Murari, he was looking smiling at me. And that gave me a courage. So the first time when I gave a speech to the public of around 300 people, top people from Chennai, and it made me a different person. That's my first time. Thank you.
Toastmaster Srini, what about you? I think you have something to add.
Actually, I just pinged in the chat. No different from what Toastmaster Shashi Sarma has done it. In fact, in my case, sorry about my video, actually, it's a personal laptop, old one. I prepared very well. I even gave a dry run with the person who's organizing this meeting. I'm supposed to speak about introducing someone, that's all. It's not a lot of speech. I just have to introduce one organization, and I'll have to just introduce the directors and the founders and talk about the organization. It's less than about maybe 3/4 of a page. I rehearsed it so very well. And I'll tell you one other thing. I even took an anti-anxiety pill that morning so that I remained calm. But nothing worked actually. So by the time I went to the second line, I couldn't, my voice started shivering. Of course, not everyone observed it. They thought, maybe it's very natural that I speak that way. But people who knew me, people who knew how I speak, I'm actually very I'm not very timid when I'm speaking one-on-one. But they were all wondering what is happening to Srini. That was one of the worst moments in my life. There were hundreds of audiences actually. They're all it's a spiritual event where all the great speakers were present, and I felt it's very shameful because I was not very young. If you are very young, if you are a college grad, you have that excuse. This happened not even 10 years ago. I was in a good position. I speak to the team so many times. I conduct meetings. In fact, I teach as well. But that day, I don't know what happened. This sheer bad luck or something. I couldn't do it. I felt so bad. Even the organizers felt so bad because I was like an SAA. I was supposed to start that meeting with thing, and I messed it up. Even if I think about it, even now, I don't feel nice about it. That's all, Toastmaster.
So, Ujjwal, when was the last time you really tried something for the first time?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Okay. I started writing blogs, not video on that. Okay. So it happened like last year only when I was in college. I thought it was 1 month summer. After exam, there was 15 to 20 days. The college was given the time. So I thought, let's start writing. And I was confused that on which topic I should write. So I have created full online. I have created all the website I have created on my own, reading and everything. And on my own, I have wrote the 4 theory, means like 4 blogs actually.
Wow.
But I don't know what happened, but that website, one day I opened and everything on. So it's there. I have wrote the same thing. Actually, it was there in my backup file. So I have uploaded and I will surely share it with you all. That is a 4 motivational thoughts. It was actually.
Okay.
That was so that's what I thought. Let's try it. Now also I am thinking, but all these times and all, I'm not getting the time for that. Yeah.
Anybody else wants to go?
Yeah, Aparna, I'll go. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Toastmaster Ganesh.
Yeah, I didn't have to think too much, For me, the things I did the first time was about 16 hours back, yesterday evening.
Wow.
That's why it's fresh in my mind. So I think for the first time I was the MC for a classical music program, and I've
Oh my
never
God.
at Jagriti Theatre actually. So,
Nice.
where I had to introduce, a very, very senior artists who have played at the Nobel Prize winning ceremony and who have played in the UN Assembly. And so it was very good. And I would say that, so I give the welcome address and a little bit around here and there. So I think it was good. I think Toastmasters was probably a valuable background experience. Yeah. And I could coach the others as well on how to do. So I thought it came out decently. And no eggs were thrown at me. So I think I enjoyed it because it's for the first time, because I am completely zero in classical music. And here I was introducing some, Padma Shris and all that, a very renowned personalities without knowing a thing. Yeah, so that was, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, great.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh. Anybody?
Toastmaster Aparna, can I just add to that what Mr. Toastmaster Ganesh is saying? Because
Please go ahead.
I was there, and Toastmaster Ganesh, you did a wonderful job. Like I'm doing your, evaluation now. Your dress was absolutely amazing, and you spoke very confidently, Toastmaster Ganesh. And it was fun to watch you doing your first thing. I didn't know that it is your first time because you were so thoroughly professional. I use so many beautiful words. Must say, use the words like took us to a different plane. Those kind of words. Amazing, Toastmaster Ganesh. Wonderfully done.
Hey, thanks, Shashi. Glad you could get. And if I get a recording of that, I'll share it with everybody for a learning purpose, right? I mean,
Exactly. That's what I was going to
You
say.
should do that.
badly, and probably everybody can have a go at the evaluation of that. Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
Anyone else would like to?
Yeah, I will. I have one experience.
Sure,
So,
Swapnil.
I started I don't like exercises.
Okay. Nobody does.
Yeah, I do. Now I'm a nutritionist.
Wow.
So actually, I have
That's
asthma like like it's a generic. So from my heredity, I have. So
Mhm.
my parents like it's been like when I was 10 years old. So they introduced me to yoga. Yoga. So people usually wake up at 6:30 for their school, and I'm the person who has to wake up at 5 o'clock to do that. Being a child at 10 years of age and have to do all the exercises before going to the school, it's pathetic.
Actually, Swapnil, it's not pathetic. It's good.
It's
Because
good,
from
but
that,
being a 10
because
year
from
of
that
age,
age,
no, you just hate it. Like you don't want to get into all those stuffs, and that's how I started everything. Like I had now I'm a fitness freak.
Nice. Nice to hear that.
one more thing, I have just mentioned the link. Just have a look and let me know.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Virtual.
Toastmaster Deepti or Toastmaster Priyanka, anybody would like to speak about it?
Sure. Thank you for asking, Toastmaster Aparna. I was concentrating on catching everybody's good words, so many beautiful phrases and everything going on. So for me, I think a lot of new things have happened. But in recent times, I think it would have to be non-violent communication. It's a book by Marshall Rosenberg. And that particular book has changed the way I communicate with others. So a lot of other things I have done, but this one thing has had a very deep impact in my life. Why? Because I'll give you an example. So recently my husband came up to me and he verbally attacked me all of a sudden. So he told me, you know what, you're not adding any financial value to this family. And because I'm not working. And instead of having the cook, let's get rid of the cook and, we'll be saving money. Initially, the immediate reaction was I was frustrated. I was feeling, like the victim there. I was angry with him. But then I calmed down because of the book and I started concentrating on his unsaid words or his misconception about the entire thing. Why is he speaking like this? So the moment I stopped my spiral downward thought process and I started asking more questions about why such kind of sentences are coming, because in my heart, I knew he's not that kind of a person who, talks like this. I know, I believe in his love for me. I believe in his trust and respect for me. So the moment I started concentrating on him, it became a lot more easy for us to take the conversation to a place where it was good for him, good for me. It was good for our relationship. It cemented our relationship better. And finally, we understood why he was speaking out of, certain hurt places and what happened and what could have been a potential deal breaker for our relationship, something that could have been a big blown out of issue. It became a great experience for both of us to probably carry it in our heart. He was happy that I heard him out. I was happy and proud of myself for knowing how to do that. So I guess the new thing that I'm doing in my life currently, I'm practicing it, is non-violent communication. I highly recommend this book to everyone.
Good. Thanks. Okay, now let's just jump into the next part of the session. So Toastmasters meeting has 3 parts: prepared speech, table topics, and evaluation. Before we move on to the next session, I will call the general evaluator to give a briefing of the evaluation section and introduce the tag team.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aparna. So today I will be the general evaluator for overall meeting. So there are 3 main work of a general evaluator: to introduce the speech evaluator, then the tag team, and in the end I will give the overall meeting details. So to help me with the tag team, I have a team of 3 members. So timer, Swapnil, I think Swapnil have taken the timer role. Swapnil, can you come on stage and let me know about the timing guidelines?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Ujjawal. Hi, fellow Toastmaster and guest members. One important skill of a good speaker is to express a thought within a specific time. As a timer, I'll be monitoring and helping the contestant manage their time. I'll display the green card within the minimum time if reached, yellow card during the mean time, and red card with the maximum time reached. A contestant is whose speech time is less than the minimum or more than the maximum time will be disqualified. For example, prepare the speech shall be from 4 to 6 minutes. I'll be flashing green card at the end of 4 minutes, yellow card at the end of 5 minutes, and red card at the end of 6 minutes. I'll and for the table topics, green card at the end of 1 minute, and same with yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and red card after 2 minutes. I'll give the report at the end of this session. Over to you, Toastmaster Ujjawal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. So now in the tag team, there is a role called a counter. So may I request Toastmaster Priyanka to give up the details of that?
Hi. Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjawal. Good morning, dear fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the A counter is to note any overused words or filler words used as a crutch by anyone who during the meeting. As the A counter today, I will be listening other filler and repetitive words that member often use. Please note, this interjection generally disrupt the flow of the speech. They not only diminish the quality and effectiveness of the speech, but also make the speech less interesting. I will be keep track of them and give you summary at the end of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster. Yeah.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka. Now let's come to the grammarian role. I think Deepti has taken the grammarian role, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yes, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day, and the word of the day is incipient, which means beginning to happen or develop, something that is growing, something that is emerging. Few examples for the word. The project is still in its incipient stages. I have an incipient dislike and distrust of that guy, and I only met him this morning. So I'll be sharing it in the chat also. And each speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day during the meeting. Yes, thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepti. So now I'm giving the stage to TMOD of the day, Toastmaster Aparna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjawal. Since Toastmaster Ganesh needs to leave early, I think I would call the first speaker of the day, who's Toastmaster Apoorv, who will be giving this speech, and the title is Steal a Page. Over to you, Toastmaster Apoorv.
Maybe I can just introduce Toastmaster Apoorv as an evaluator. So, yeah, it's a pleasure to introduce our rockstar bibliophile Toastmaster Apoorv, and his speech is the Project 2, Level 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. And he would be speaking about the various communication styles that he's used and what works, what does not, what works best for him. So it's a 5 to 7 minute speech. So over to you, Toastmaster Apoorv. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh. My fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, a couple of years ago, we had these quizzes on Facebook where you could find out what animal are you, what bread are you, or even better, what dosa are you. So a couple of days ago, I did something similar on the Toastmasters website where I had to find out, discover your communication style. So I went to the quiz, put this, put that, and I got the highest points for being a direct speaker. Lowest for analytical speaker. First reaction, I'm not analytical. Did this sorry excuse of a website call me dumb? With my eyes twitching and my teeth grinding, I smashed that analytical more info button. Yeah, turns out I'm not a diplomatic person. Now, this thing gave me a unique opportunity. the first time in my life, I actually went through the different communication styles I have and actually look at the strengths and weaknesses of all of them. And there are certain, so being a direct, having direct communication, there are certain things that work well, but when non-direct styles are employed, they do also sometimes make hay. So let me give you an example. So my girl and I, we are absolutely polar opposites when it comes to communication styles. In fact, when I asked her out, she actually took an entire day of hemming and hawing and evading and dodging to, and she finally did give me an answer. And when she finally did agree, let me tell you the exact tail end of the 1 minute long monologue, where I've actually already lost thought what happened in the front part, but last 4 lines I remember verbatim. So her lines was, Apoorv, you're a great friend, and I don't want to lose that, but you're a great guy. So let us try. Try what? Like yes and relationship, or no and like let's be friends. It's confusing, right? So I asked her, like, what is it? And her answer was, this is non-verbal. This is smile and nod. Like, what? So you see, unlike a 25-year-old guy, girls have to be indirect as hell. And there's a reason but that. Because for the last 10 years of her life, girls have been consistently being reminded of the fact that they're physically weaker. So they do not want to get into a situation where emotions are high and things can not turn out well. So making the entire thing non-confrontational is basically what Mother Nature has given them the best skills to do. Now, speaking about locations where emotional are spiking, there cannot be a lot more than what happens, let's say, when you're at the doctors discussing your lab reports. You see, doctors, when are not just learning medicine when they are in med school, they are also learning how to de-escalate situations. Because on the off chance, a patient, when he gets the bad news, he does not have a good reaction. And to do that, the game does not start when you are given the lab reports and he's explaining it to you. No, the game starts right when he starts the call. He's like, Mr. Apoorv, Sinha, like, yes, sir, you need to come to the lab, to the clinic, because we have the reports have come in and we need to discuss that. No, nothing serious. You just need to do a little things and you will be fine. In your mind, he's already put you in a comfort zone. You look down like, yeah, I have a paunch and everything. Yeah, it's okay. It'll work out. It's not a big deal. We'll go. So you get there on time and then wait for 1 hour. And then finally, when you're let in with this big smile, you enter and you're like, Mr. Apoorv Sinha, come in, have a seat. And then on his Brobdingnagian desk, there are like reports here, graphs here, something else there. And he starts explaining the first report and you're like, okay, yes. And then he's like, he shows a graph and then shows some lines here. And then he holds the X-ray to the light and you pretend like, I am understanding. I know what to look at. And through all of this, you just keep nodding and like hoping that he doesn't think that you are absolutely out of your depth. And finally, he tells you what the physio is going to be. He gives you a prescription and you take the reports and you shuffle out the door. You get in your car, you put the reports on the navigator's chair and you start the car and you're driving home. And that's when you realize, bro, this guy just called me a slob. You see, all those bad postures of slouching over the laptop and like watching the movies on the laptop in positions that would have made a contortionist proud, they've absolutely nuked my back muscles. I'm not allowed to sit for long periods of time. And even when I do, I have to pretend there's like a rod up my bum, full like ramrod straight. So the learning from here was that information overload is also a way of dealing with weird situations where you think a person is too smart by half, you give him all the information he needs and then hope he gets through. So wrapping this up, even though you have a proclivity for a certain communication style, you can always steal a page or two from someone else's book. Example, when the situation is getting pernicious, and you can use indirect communication there to kind of mollify the person in front. when you see that the person is kind of, you don't want them to give the entire information at the same time. You want them to sit, gestate, ruminate over the information. You give them information overload. These are learnings. And most of important of all points, that when 10 years ago, some social media website called you a masala dosa, when you wanted to be a ghee roast dosa, let it go. Thank you, Toastmasters, and over to you, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apoorv. That was an amazing speech. I will not take more time, and I will now like to call upon the general evaluator of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Ganesh.
I think TMOD is Aparna, right?
Yes, Toastmaster Ganesh. I just handed it over to you for the evaluation. So.
Oh, is that right?
Toastmaster Ganesh, do you need 2 minutes time?
Yeah, I think what we should do, since it's fresh, probably it can be good evaluation practice, and maybe at least 2-3 people can have a go at evaluation as well. Yeah.
Yes, we can do that.
Yeah, maybe somebody else can start, and I can also give, because though I don't have any notes or anything like that, but maybe some others can also have a go at evaluation. How about maybe Toastmaster Deepti, why don't you try an incipient? Yeah.
Master Okay, so yes, I was taking notes while I was listening to Toastmaster Apoorv's speech, and let me tell you, it was a great ride. I was smiling, I was giggling here and there. I really enjoyed your speech. It was well done. Like, you have brought in so many different elements. You started somewhere and you showed us so many different communication styles, and I was hooked. So I like the part where you spoke about girls have to be direct, more direct, and I never realized that we are actually not that direct. I don't know about a lot of other girls, but I am not. And that kind of hit me hard. And I was wondering, like, why is that? And you gave me the explanation also for that. But I would still urge you to probably go into more, you gave us a statement, and the convincing part, I felt it kind of fell short in that particular area. That is what I felt personally. The reason why I'm saying it first is because that's what came into my mind, I'd say. And so the convincing part, whenever you're giving a particular, making a statement, that convincing part has to be more, streamlined. That's my point. The good things are, compared to the last time, this time I saw you deliver your speech with more, you were more in your comfort zone. Like, you're not looking at something. So the entire flow was very convenient, very good for us to watch. Your body language was absolutely perfect on spot. You were, doing all the right gestures at the right point of time. And I also want to mention few good words that I felt were really nice. Like, I wanted to smash the analytic, the button kind of got me smiling. And the amazing words like verbatim, pugnacious, proclivity. So all in all, you are a great speaker. You have great vocabulary. And I wish I was a little bit more prepared to give you your feedback so that it would have been more fun. But yeah, that is the only thing that I have. Like, probably when you're making a statement, just, add a little bit more convincing lines, like, you finish it. Like, I did accept what you said, but I would have enjoyed a little bit more supporting statements with that. That's what. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you, Toastmaster Deepti.
Toastmaster Aparna, can I have a go?
Sure, Toastmaster Shashi, please go ahead.
Okay, Toastmaster Apoorv, what a wonderful speech. I really enjoyed the way your body language was fantastic, and the way you were confident about it, and talking about the whole story. And it actually inspires a lot of people, the way you have created that kind of a story, the aura, the feeling, the environment. The whole thing was fantastic. And I also agree with the Deepti to a certain extent. I think you, when you are closing, I think you should still have that strong, voice modulation. You used to slightly trail off, which I felt, but I think on overall, you did a wonderful job. Your body language was very, very good. And my suggestion would be a little bit more voice modulation will work for you far better. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashidhar.
Toastmaster Ganesh, are you ready with your evaluation? I think you're on mute, Toastmaster Ganesh. Toastmaster Ganesh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's nothing like being ready. I was saying we are all like ever ready batteries, right? Anytime. Yeah, but maybe one more person can have a go. I'll also give my thing. Yeah, it's a good, I think, way to get different perspectives on the same speech, right? Toastmaster Priyanka, you want to go at it?
Hi, actually, yes, I enjoyed the speech and how he like gathered the information. It is very informative. I feel very informative, and how he like use his emotion and body language. That is like I feel very like understanding and likewise. And yeah, actually, I am I also do doing some other thing. Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka.
Thank you. Okay, I'll go now, Toastmaster Aparna. So indeed, a great speech and a great personal stories and anecdotes from Toastmaster. I can visibly see the increase in confidence and the comfort in your speech, right? So the highlights I would say is first, being so comfortable in a different topic in a setting, you were giving your speech standing, and the delivery was very good, and you were in complete control and had a very strong audience connect. Number two is that your your range of diction and the words from the English is just mind-boggling. Somebody alluded to proclivity and verbatim and so many words which we have never read or heard for a long time now. What I liked most about the speech was how you created the scene. Like, for instance, the doctor coming and setting the scene, please come, putting it in a subtle way, and asking him to sit down comfortably before delivering the final punch. The way you created the scene with short, crisp sentences, you made us feel that we were there with you along the journey. And a couple of recommendations that I would suggest. One, transitions between one anecdote to another or one scenario to another, they were kind of so rapid for a listener. It becomes a little difficult. I found it a little difficult when you suddenly shifted gears from the doctor to from the girl telling an indirect no to the doctor giving you the news to the masala dosa and so on. So I think very strong transition points will help us take the audience along with you. The number two was around what is the final message and what is the communication style that works for you at the end of it all. That did not come through very clearly. I think one of the objectives of the project was to evaluate the different communication styles and what really works for you so well, or in certain situations. That call to action, and as a listener, what kind of communication style works in what situation, probably we could have driven that home a little stronger. But as I said, all in all, you're an incipient, accomplished speaker, very much at ease, and it can be embellished a little more by structuring the speech in a slightly better way. And but overall, a great, inspiring speech for everybody here. Thank you, Toastmaster Apoorv.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ganesh.
Anybody else would want to give any evaluations?
We can move to the next section, I feel.
Okay, so I would now like to hand over to Toastmaster Francis for the table topic section. Over
Thank
to
you,
you,
Toastmaster.
Toastmaster.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Aparna. Yeah, we had quite a long evaluation section for Toastmaster Apoorv. It was more like an evaluation contest. People trying to give evaluation for Toastmaster Apoorv, and I'm sure I can't see him now. Did he leave? Okay, no, he's there. He's there.
Francis, what is the surprise today?
We'll come to that later. That's the end. Okay. So yeah, as we know, this is the not the last, but the second last section of the entire Toastmasters meeting. And this is nothing but the table topic contest, but let's do it in a slight variation today. Let's try to have it like a group discussion styled section, because I want to talk about something that is very relevant to all of us today. I'm sure each and every one of us would have been at least a little bit or a lot affected by the scenarios that are happening around the world. I'm definitely talking about the Ukraine-Russia war that is currently happening. So if you look at each one of us, it could be our personal life, it could be the normal things that we do, or it could be our work-related stuff. All of us are at least slightly or in a huge way impacted by whatever crisis is being caused. That too somewhere thousands of kilometers from where we live. We hardly have no connection with them, but we are in some way or the other affected. If you look at few of the people, you can see the stock markets are crashing and so on. So those people might be affected by that. I was talking to another person yesterday, and it seems that his company was manufacturing goods worth more than $1 million, which was completely put on hold for next couple of months. So it's about $1 million loss for them as such. They are not allowed to send it, and so on. We are being affected in a huge way. So I would like to put this as an open question. Like, we'll have follow-up questions, but anybody wants to share some of the impacts that the situation has caused with like among ourselves. So somebody wants to like talk, we can have like 1 minute or so for each of these people. You can put forward your point, move forward, and then I'll put the next question. Yeah. Who wants to take the chance? Okay, go ahead, Toastmaster Ujjawal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Francis, for a great. It's actually a group discussion topic. So whatever we are seeing seeing the scenario right now, the gist what is coming, like Ukraine is like just like according to me, right? It's like a puppet where the NATO is what they are telling, and he is doing, and all is game all about the borders, because Russia don't want the NATO to come near to them, right? And because of this political issue, too many lives are going, infrastructure is damaging, and apart from that, the most important thing, after a few years, maybe the Europe or the Ukraine, it will not be exist on the world map. That can be the possibility. As of now, the Russian government or the Putin government, they have started bombing on the nuclear power plant. You can imagine what we, as we all know, that in India, most of we are working for the US and Canada and that side companies, for that side companies only. If it will impact there, directly it will impact to us. Yeah, so according to me, it's like this war should be stopped, and it should be some other way to get this issue resolved. And by the way, we are on and they are on the 10th day of the fighting. Yeah, back to you, Francis.
Yeah, so if you look at all the top companies, including Nike, Apple, Google, Microsoft, Netflix, all the companies have stopped their service, which is in turn internally affecting their revenues, and also a huge part of their employees have been into a position where they are not having work and so on. So yeah, anybody else wants to talk about this? Toastmaster Srinivas, I see him on video.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Francis. I would like to give the other angle
non-economical aspects of this war. We always used to wonder when we read the historic history about kings going on war just for a piece of land and just to satisfy their ego that, I'm a king and I need more land to rule, and ignoring the fact that there are many lives which can never be replaced, can never be, once it's gone, it's gone. Even in this era, some leaders think, thinking that way. The leaders who take this decision, they're safe and fine, but the soldiers, thousands of soldiers losing their lives, their families, it's irreparable thing. It's irrecoverable. And it's unfortunate that we have two rogue countries just next to us. Russia may be our friend. We may not be, going against them for our political or economical reasons, but what they're doing is extremely condemnable. Not it's a very inhumane what they're doing, and history will not forgive these two countries for whatever they're doing just for the people of land. Yeah, that's all from me.
Yes, Toastmaster Apoorv, go ahead.
Okay. Unlike everybody else, I will actually take a hawkish approach here. Full disclosure, I am a dove, but I've got really, really big claws. So the scene is, don't think of it in terms of US, Russia, Ukraine. Just change this and think of it in terms of India, Bangladesh, China. You see, Bangladesh in about 2015, 2016 was getting 200 kilometers range ballistic missiles from China. Okay, India stepped in and said, no, you will not put those missiles in Bangladesh, because the only cities worth bombing within 200 kilometers of Bangladesh are Indian cities, right? So let me put this in context. We give $1.3 billion in foreign aid every year. India does that, right? And much of it goes to Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, right? So this money is actually technically, if you think of like the money you're spending in the army, in the military and the air force, this is also money that is a part of your defense spending, right? You give money to these people so that they don't, turn against you and take sides with the enemy. And Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and all, see, they are not friends of India because they love us. They're friends because we have bought their friendship. Simple as that. That's how the real world works. On the same lines, Russia does the same thing with Ukraine and all these erstwhile Soviet Union countries. So now the thing is, what if Bangladesh tomorrow comes up and says, no, I am getting those missiles from China and I am going to have them nuclear tipped. So see, the only reason for having nuclear tipped missiles in Bangladesh would be to actually launch them against India. If that would happen, I would fully support a preemptive action in Bangladesh by my country. Because rather than having a war at a later time, let's have one right now. And peace also has a price. $1.3 billion in trade, in $1 billion every year that we give, that is a price for peace. 80,000 lives have been lost in Kashmir, not counting the people that we lost in the war. That is also a price for peace. 80,000 people dying in the course of 80 years, approximately is 1,000 people every year, which is 3 people every day. These are the Indian lives lost in Kashmir. Put that into context. It's not a big number for India because they're a huge population, but put that in context with Ukraine and you realize that Russia with a smaller population cannot afford to lose so much to insurgency and terrorism. All in all, if Bangladesh, any country next to us would be getting certain weaponry, you would also support our war. And it's why Ukraine has chosen to get the missiles and everything else from Russia is their business. From NATO is their business, but they should know that if you want to live in the river, do not mess with the crocodile. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, good points put forward, Toastmaster Apoorv. Even I agree with that. You don't get to choose your neighbors. Neighbors are who is with whatever came into existence. They are here, so it's your responsibility to keep good relations with them and not mess up with them. And then, moving forward, one question is, in this particular age where diplomacy and talks, and there are so many different ways to actually resolve an issue, why did Russian President Putin actually declare a war. He had other ways. What do you think are the other ways in which this issue could have been resolved? There are so many other ways. He could have taken it to international court of justice. He could have held talks. He could have. So, what do you feel would have worked instead of declaring a war?
Toastmaster Francis, if I may, I would like to add something here.
Sure.
As a sergeant of arms, in the beginning you said we should not be discussing politics, religions, and the stuff, right? Are we not discussing politics here right now?
I mean, this is a world economical issue. We are not talking about some kind of political party versus political party. We are not taking sides. But this is
that's my thought. I leave it to the group to take a call on this. But personally, I felt that is going slightly away from the norms set by you as a sergeant of arms. That's my thought.
I agree.
I'm okay to discuss this.
Politics is something about opinions, especially which can trigger emotions and make it personal. But this is a war which is going to affect countries and our next generations and then even our kids. So it's okay.
It's going to be taught to literally every student.
Russia being in another country, I think it's not going to affect anybody talking for or against. So we are okay. But strictly keep politics away. We can talk about the economical aspects and other aspects just to get their views. I agree politics should not be in place as long as we're not emotionally affected.
So I think we, as an organization, we can stay away from politics within our country. But talking about world stuff, I think is fine, because I have been to multiple things, and then it's pretty. It's a very blunt line. Actually, we not know where the exact boundary is. It's not a set boundary, but yeah. So does somebody want to take up this opportunity about probably a different way of negotiation or something that could have been done?
I'm okay. Like I just wanted to just bring this to the notice. That's all.
Yeah.
I'm
Sure.
okay with any.
Somebody wants to take it up. Swapnil, do you want to try?
Okay. Already Apoorv took my thoughts. So most of the things he already we had a SAM discussion like 2 or 3 days back when I on my birthday party on 1st of March.
Okay. Happy birthday to you.
So we had a SAM discussion. So that's what happened. So I'm agree with him. Like if you go for the Putin, like if you think about the NATO. So NATO is just like a political party for the US for his benefits. It's not for the like whichever coming into like there might be some NATO like other countries. There's certain criteria. If you fill, then you are able to get a membership for the NATO. But Ukraine doesn't be a part of that. But still, he's grabbing just because of the geopolitical and some other he want to get into the missile things. Like they already a Poland boundary with the Russia. Then there's some other countries as of now. So what they are doing currently, just they are like surrounding the Russia with the weapons. What's US like intentions, so that if something happen, I do not have to get there. These countries will help me to just evacuate or just destroy the Russia. That's what the current scenario is, and I think Putin is doing great for the safety of his country. That's what and for your thought process, like we can do a negotiation something with other, not with the war. It's already been done, but there is no result. So
right.
So we are not into the Mahatma Gandhi things like Charkha will help us. We have to be like a boss. Subhash Chandra Bose, just use the weapon and destroy everything in this particular time. Like if you see our history also, in the meantime, like most of the things which is done by the boss, not with the Gandhi. Because of him, like your British terrified, and afterwards he evacuated from India. The same thing I'm thinking about the Putin like you. And the Ukraine is already been the country of USSR. it's been just like decentralized from them. The reason is like might be the politics US has played in 1991. So that's all sum up. Like he's doing the right thing for his country's safety. That's all he wants.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmasters Swapnil, for putting forward your point. And lastly, when you see it's about 10 or 11 days into the declaration of the war, so the scenario into the future can go on anyways. It can, be extremely worse, or it can end at like a probably a not like at like a really not bad stage also. So there are multiple ways to look at it, but we hope that it goes in the best direction. Probably world doesn't have to use the other countries doesn't have to interfere extremely with whatever they come to do. Uh, there is no end to it. Yeah, I know. So somebody ends, Prasanna or Edwin, do you want to share some thoughts that your experiences about something that you came to know about it, or your opinion?
Sorry, Francis. Actually, I was away. What is this question about?
So yeah, basically the world economical crisis, basically due to the war. Do you want to share anything from your experience? What you feel would happen in a couple of days? What would be the best way to probably resolve this issue? Do you want to say something? Do you want to try something?
Let's see, war is never good in the history. If you see, every time war has it's a loss for the humankind, right? Humanity and everything. So definitely the solution should be the talk, negotiation, discussion. That is the best way. But right now we can see that Putin is just showing his power and everything, just to show it's not direct war with the Ukraine. It's with the Europe and NATO, which Putin is doing, and innocent people are being died.
Yes, agreed. Toastmaster Prasanna, do you want to take it up?
Right, Francis. I think we have seen so much of negativity, right, from past 2-3 years. I think this is one more addition to it, what we are actually hearing, right? I think even the situations are getting worse at some other place, not at our place, but still it is bothering us. Right? I think every single person is worried about a person who is actually staying across. There are so many people from India across the country who is actually getting affected because of it. I think once for all, right, all those things gets come to an end for some reason, right? I think it should calm the people, right? I think a complete negativity from past 2 years and post COVID, right? I think people mindset is completely different, and then this is adding a more negativity for people. I think things should change. Hopefully, the coming days should bring us solutions so that everything will become normal and people start leading their normal life. So I think we should have an end of negativity and stuff across the world.
Yes, completely agree. Probably the only way that I feel is a solution to this is probably not putting Russia, because they are very arrogant people, not putting them in like a spot where they are ashamed in front of the world stage. They should be given a way out in which they should feel guilty, but they shouldn't be like completely ashamed. If that comes into picture, then they would continue to rage the war and show their supremacy. So I think that is the only way out, through diplomacy, and probably a kind of win-win situation should happen, or else it's not going to end. So with that, yeah, over to you, Toastmaster Aparna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Francis. That was a discussion that could go on, and I don't think there can be an end to it. So continuing with our session, the question that comes to my mind now is, why do we have to do something new or something for the first time? I mean, we may not do it on a daily basis, but at least occasionally. So anybody would like to give a try at that?
Hi, Toastmaster Aparna. I think people want changes, right? I think one or other time you have to pick up something new. I think, say for an example, right, a New Year resolution. We start in the year that we have to hit the gym, right? I think the resolution gets end up very faster. I think we want to try something new. We want some changes. We wanted to come out of our comfort. I think let it be a reading habit, let it be cycling, or let it be any other activity, right? We wanted to try something new, whether it is possible for us to pick it up, that kind of activity. I think also it gives us a confidence whether we are okay for the changes or what. I think that is the reason I think we wanted to pick up something which is new always.
Rightly said, Toastmaster Prasanna. Anybody else? Yes, Toastmaster Apoorv.
Thank you, TMOD Aparna. So one of the reasons we actually do something for the first time is we realize we're not enough, in the sense that there's an old saying that what you got you here will not get you there, right? What passed you on the 5th standard is not going to pass you the 10th standard, is not going to pass you the 12th standard, right? Every stage of our lives requires a different skill set, different knowledge base, and different intuitions. We do some things for the first time because we realize that we need to learn new things, and that is why we try these new things to see if it works. That's.
Thank you, Toastmaster Apoorv. Anybody else?
Aparna, what was the question?
Why do we really need to try out something for the first time? I mean, what is the need? I mean, why do you want to do it? Why can't we just leave things as they are and just, okay, we've already done so many things earlier. Why do we need to keep trying to do something for the first time? Why do we even need to do it?
Okay, I have one question. I can explain that thing, because I'm the person who always be just like to do some strange thing, some weird, and sometimes like something new, because it's thrill me.
Okay.
First of all, it's thrill me. It's give me a new experience, and everyone need a new experience. Else, what happened? Like its life is like just like in a one direction. It should be like 180, up and down should be there. So with that, we get to know like how amazing life is. Simple as that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. Toastmaster Ujjawal, you wanted to go at it, right?
Yeah, Aparna. So according to me, what everything has a start and the end. Life also have the starting point and the end point. In everyone's life, who all are present here, who are not present here, whatever you do, everything has the first time. If you ride a cycle, that is the first time. If a baby is born, if he's that annaprasan, you know, that what we used to tell. So that is also a first time. Everything have the first time. And the important point is why we need to do. If we will not do it, we will not understand the scenario or the experience we will get. I will tell you a short example of this first time. Few years back, means like about 2013 or 2014, I'm talking about. At that time, I was like the first time coming out from my home, right? Suddenly, I have already told last week that suddenly my father booked a flight ticket, and I was the first time boarding a flight. So I was like, how I will do everything, how I will go, because at that time means like first time I am coming out from home, and in Bihar, from if I need to board the flight, I need to go from one city to another city, then I need to board the flight. So plan accordingly everything. So once I did it, once I landed it here, and I talked normally once we landed to any other place, we should tell to the family member that we reached safely and everything. At that time, I told, yeah, you did the good that you have sent me alone, because if I will not go alone, I will not know what are the procedure I need to do at the airport, where I should submit the bag, and where I should do everything. This is the one simple example which I have given. Yeah, back to you, Aparna.
I think Toastmaster Deepti wanted to say something.
Yes, Toastmaster Aparna. So my point is, I think your topic very well ties with the previous topic of which was done by Toastmaster Shamla, right? Like
Change.
Change. So change is optional, but growth is intentional. So it is exactly that. Like if we want to grow, we need to invest our time and energy into new experiences that makes sense to us. Because the more we pour our energy and time into a certain thing, that grows. So if I want my personality to change, I want myself to change, then I need to invest that in myself. Or if I want to change a corner in my house, that also needs that same level of change, energy, and intention. So thank you very much for bringing this topic to us today, Aparna, because it really made me sit and think for nearly an hour about what change should I talk about. And I finally came up with my husband's thing, right? So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Toastmasters Deepti. So anybody else would like to share something? Okay. So as all of you rightly said, when we think of all the things that we have done for the first time, we come to the realization that, we have never actually allowed ourselves the time, or we have never taken the time to feel the pride and the satisfaction that comes from accomplishing things that initially, which we thought would be difficult or not possible for us to do. And we always thought maybe we just procrastinated and just decided to put it away for a later time and stuff like that. But then by the time we complete that particular task or whatever you wanted to do or try out for the first time, you realize that awesome feeling that you get, that sense of accomplishment. And, it's like you push yourself out of the comfort zone, and the kind of feeling that you get is very different. So now that we have pushed ourselves out of the comfort zone, the comfort zone has grown larger to accommodate these new things now, because we have done it and we know that it is not as difficult or as impossible as we thought it was, as we thought about it in the initial stages when we didn't want to do it or when we had not done it yet. So which means this is also a great reason that means we can grow and try something more riskier, try to do something more bigger, right? So Toastmaster Ujjawal, so who would be taking up the final evaluation? Sorry, I don't know who's the final evaluator here.
You can give it to Toastmaster Ujjawal.
Okay.
Because okay, because we have only, I'm keeping the time, we have only 15 minutes left, so we have to do the tag team also, and then the final evaluation.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I will start. As you all know, that it's the time for a tag team. So I will directly request all the tag team members to come directly on the stage and show the evaluations, what you have done. So I think Swapnil has taken the timer role. Swapnil, stage is yours. Swapnil went on a break, I think. Okay. Any Priyanka, are you there?
Looks like everybody's going on a break. Okay. I didn't realize my topic was that boring that everybody is on a break.
Aparna, you have exhausted everyone with your topic. Sorry, Jan. Toastmaster Priyanka, go ahead.
The topic was very interesting. Yeah, so I will go through the R counter. So first I will tell about TM Aparna for TMOD. This R I found a few times, 3 times and 3 times. 3 times, and others I mean that word few times. Overall, it is very nice. And TM Apoorv. So here, most of the very few this R counter. I just a minute. Yeah. So for Apoorv, this R I found few times and right word few times. 2-3 times right. Then for Francis, TTM, quite a few times, like 6-7 times, like a few times, repetitive word we few times, then that you this kind of word 3 times, and you know a few times. Then okay. So for table topics, there is like now today lots of discussion. So I'll start with Prasanna. This I think I find lots of time, like 10 times, and also like 4 times. Right few times. Then Swapnil, TM Swapnil, and quite a few times I found. Then Ganesh, I found like and 3 times, and I think few times. That's all. That today mine also first time. There might be a little bit. I'm not doing perfectly.
You have done good. You have actually done good, Priyanka.
Thank
everything
you.
That's got everything have the first time we need to do. Aparna, directly relate to your topic. So now comes to the timer role. Swapnil, I think that the topic was so much bored you ran away actually.
I had a connection issue. Yeah. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. It's going to
Okay, sure.
where the options can be picture. That's the reaction right now. Okay, I got that. Just disable the participants.
Francis, your turn.
Can I have access? I do not have access to share.
Now you can. Now you'll be having. Can you check?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So here we are. So the Apoorv has given like 6.21 minutes. Ignore the others information. TM Ganesh has took like 2.50 seconds minutes for the evolution. Shashi do like within a minute, and Priyanka I don't know. Then Ujjawal has took like 1.13 seconds. Srini has done it in for table topics. Srini has took like 1 minute 7 seconds. Apoorv did in 2.35 minutes, and I did in 1.10, and Edward had done in like 35 seconds, and Prasanna did in 50 seconds. That's from my side. Over to Ujjawal Kumar.
Sure, Swapnil. Now as a you can say. So next is TM Deepti is here. Okay, you are here. I thought that you also went.
I have some background noise happening, so kindly forgive me.
Not an issue.
I am sharing my screen. Hold on. Thank you. So I got a lot of good usages today. Okay, a lot from TM Apoorv and TM Ganesh. I was like furiously typing into my laptop while you guys were talking. So the only person who has used the word of the day is Toastmaster Ganesh, and few very well said words or lines. Let me share it here. TM Ganesh said range of diction, which is more beautiful than having a great vocabulary. It's an amazing thing for us to remember, to use next time. Then TM Apoorv said non-confrontational. Oh God, he used so many words. I don't know where to start. If I start, I think I'll be going on for quite some time. So I will be sharing this with everyone. Please do take a look at his words. And erstwhile, ballistic, slob, hawkish, view. I think you should start a vocabulary class for all of us, Toastmaster Apoorv. It will be very useful. And others also, I'm sorry, Toastmaster Aparna, I was probably listening to you very well when you were talking, so I could not take notes of your well-used words. So that is something I need to remember, that I don't do that and I pay more attention. I'm very sorry about that. Then Toastmaster Srini, he used words like satisfying ego, condemnable. Toastmaster Ujjawal, you said everything has a start and an end, and the way you kept using that again and again, that same sentence in other instances, that was really beautiful. Toastmaster Swapnil, fitness freak, how you became a nutritionist, that story was really nice. Then TM Priyanka, I really applaud you. It's the first time you're trying out something new and you did very well for that. Take that attitude with yourself. I mean, take that attitude with you to your home. And Toastmaster Francis, I liked your slight variation, relevant, get to choose. It was a difficult topic because as Toastmaster, I'm probably playing the general evaluator role. I'm really sorry, I'm going on. Okay, Toastmaster Prasanna, mindset is completely different, end of negativity and pick up something new. So all those things were really well done. And thank you, and I'll stop sharing now. Over to you, Toastmaster Ujjawal.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepti, for an amazing grammarian role what you did. Because every time what we see this Excel sheet, those who will go, means like after the meeting, everyone should see, and where there is a mistake, everyone should go and look at this. So Deepti, you can stop the
sharing,
share.
right?
Yeah.
I'm also kind of figuring out how you do that. I am not that good at Zoom. Can someone help me? Should I leave?
Actually, at the upside, there is an option like stop sharing.
Scroll your mouse to the top.
Yeah, I'm seeing resume share. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah, stop share. Thanks. Thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, now comes to a very interesting part where I need to do the evaluation for the overall meeting. So Francis, you have anything to say, or we should go?
You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay. So as I thought that our meeting used to start by 9:45, but accidentally it started by 9:50, and the 10-minute discussion what the interaction happened, that was awesome. And the best part is, Francis, be aware for the next week. And a good speech by the TM, good speech by the Apoorv. I have heard it very. Your speech is actually good, and well done, Aparna, as a debuting in TMOD role for the first time, I think.
Yeah, and everybody is having a sad face. It's like, they're either bored to death or they're just waiting for this whole damn meeting to get over.
The serious TMOD Aparna, you put us on an existential crisis. Like, when was the last time you did something for the first time? Like, is my life so boring? I've not done anything yet.
Yeah, and I think Deepti has missed one word what Ganesh sir has told, that we are always a ever-ready battery. Yeah, because means like from the starting, what I have seen that anytime Francis will give any work to anyone, yeah, everyone will be available. It happened with me also, today also. Yesterday evening, I have told to Francis that I will not be available for today's meeting. Till 8:30, 8:40, it was damn sure that I am not be available. But within 15 minutes, what happened? Everything plan changed, and I took up the general evaluator role. So it's all depends upon those who are taking the roles, and kudos to them. And apart from that, the thing which I thought that it should be improved, like as Priyanka has the first time she's taking that time that a counter role, it's better you should present it in a Excel sheet, because that will, I think you have it. You need to share it, I think.
No, actually, Excel sheet, I can't fill up whole thing.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Yeah,
I was taking note in my notebook.
That's fine, not an issue, not an issue. but that is actually a first time. So
Yes.
everything have the first time actually. And one thing I just wanted to tell that Swapnil, apart from you are showing the cards through mobile, if you can show it on the virtual background, then it will be fine. I know there is some connection issue, but you can try it
Not
out.
connection issue. Actually, that there is a Zoom issue. I couldn't able to upload those photos.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens.
I don't know what is going on with Zoom.
Zoom problem is everywhere. In my system also sometimes there is a problem with my Zoom. Okay, and now the best part is our table topic. Yeah, our table topic session who was conducted by Francis. The topic was great, Francis, but apart from that, that is means like those who have a very good idea on the scenario, those only who can talk. I think that's my perspective. And yeah, so these are the main thing which I thought that it should be there. And one important thing I just wanted to tell, please, the way we used to laugh at the in-person meetings, that same thing we should do it here also. Yeah, so everyone should smile, and I request everyone to come on video if possible, because once we will be on video, it feels like we are on a personal one-to-one connect, right? So yeah, that's come to end of my evaluation. Back to you, Francis.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjawal. Great evaluation section. All the points were amazing. Good job, Toastmaster Ujjawal. So as you all of you know, we'll be having an in-person meeting next week. So hope to see all of you there. Toastmaster Swapnil, hope to see you fly and come there. Okay. Yeah. So we can have an in-person meeting next week, and somebody who wants to take up a speech or any role can sign up for it now. Somebody wants to try a speech?
I have a small doubt, Toastmaster Francis. So you spoke about March 27th. I know this is kind of out of it, but I also want to understand. So March 27th, you said we are starting with those competitions, right, within our club. So now I am not going to be here for the next week, but I would be interested in giving a speech, because if I finish my second level in the pathway, only then I qualify for the ISC or whatever.
Oh, is it like that? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, I won't be here in town this Sunday. So can I give maybe online, like, hybrid meeting format?
So there are two
like
meetings before our international speech contest on 13th and 17th of March.
Okay, fine. That's great.
Okay. So if you want, you can give it on 13th. You're not available. Then on 20th you can give, and 27th is our international speech contest.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you want to take a slot on 20th?
Yes, I want to take a slot on 20th.
Great. Okay. And anybody else? Toastmaster Priyanka, do you want to try giving a speech on 30th? 13th, sorry. Your icebreaker.
That will be offline.
Yeah. Okay.
I will be preferring first doing online.
Okay,
Then.
sure. Then you can think about 20th. You can take up a speech slot on 20th.
20th fine.
Okay. And anybody who wants to give a speech, this Aparna, do you want to give icebreaker? No. You gave your icebreaker. Sorry. You want to give your next speech?
You always keep asking me to give my icebreaker speech again and again. It's like you already are in love with my icebreaker speech.
You're on the hit list.
You're the best icebreaker speaker. So we want to listen multiple icebreakers from you. Okay.
Toastmaster Aparna, it could be like he didn't like your icebreaker speech. Like, give it again.
Francis,
there were hardly like 6 or 7 people that day, so nobody else was there during my icebreaker speech.
Then definitely we need to hear another speech soon from you. You can decide. I'm giving you an option: 13th or 20th.
Certainly not 13, and certainly not 20th. I'm not available. I'm out of town.
Okay. So then we can see you directly on international speech contest. Okay.
You're putting me on the spot now.
Okay, it's okay. You can take your time. Yeah.
I will go for next week.
Where?
It's like speech.
Oh, you want to give a speech next week? Okay, sure.
that too in person. Let's try.
Wow.
Toastmaster Francis,
Ujjawal is taking inspiration from the topic today's topic, and he's pushing
No,
his.
I had already I had the plan in my mind that once the in-person meeting will start, I need to do it there itself.
Wow, good. And somebody wants to take up a TMOD role?
Aparna.
No, not me, not again.
Okay, sure. We can discuss that offline. Anyway, I'm getting a lot of calls, so see you all next week. Bye.
Yeah. Bye all.
Many happy returns of the day once again, Toastmaster Francis.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Francis, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Again, Toastmaster Francis.
Yes. See you next
Have a
week. Bye.
teacher's birthday.
Bye.